Journal entry. Resistance to green juice. Fuck health. Been firing on one cylinder for months. Relentless, unbridled stress compounded by heartbreak, booze, exhaustion. Toughened by the traumas of youth, my aging body is conditioned for the onslaught, though less capable of withstanding it. My emotional Cuisinart can't process its daily intake of feelings, how I long to hide, to be alone, alone, alone. The one thing I can't be these days, for I am a father, responsible for the nurturing and protection of another. Though kinder, I'm hardly more up to the task than was my own train wreck of a dad. Productive misfits like me require solitude in which to purge and create. Art is the detritus of narcissistic sleuthing. Ideas rarely emerge fully formed. More often they ripple into existence from staring at walls, watching idiocy and violence on television, getting angry and high. One must zone out, bleed at the rafters, invent new ways to get off, digress into cul-de-sacs, then course correct to re-engage the beast. Where do I find my creative time these days? Stolen in the middle of the night, insomniac minutes pilfered from a dormant world, transient moments of cursory, half-baked effort. My art has contracted a wasting disease. If I'd been 25 when my son was born, I might have punished him for the shackles he hadn't asked to place on me. I may have mindlessly replicated the sins of my father, who blamed the innocent and defenseless for his own weaknesses. The horror of that time still throbs within, fueling the self-castigation in which I bask. It is the petri dish from which my tacit deviance springs. How his eyes burned into me, the disgust, the bitterness, the reprobation. Our shared misery was somehow my doing. If I'd never been born, he would have been happy. Well, that was a lie. The truth is, he was never happy, never could have been happy, and I had nothing to do with it. Just as my son is not responsible for whether I make art or not. After all, I'm making art now, aren't I? Oh, to be held accountable for an adult's happiness at the ripe and capable age of 4. That'll teach you some responsibility. I was more than twice my father's age when I became a dad, so I had the benefit of wisdom. My son will never experience what I suffered. I'm present, accessible, willing. Parents are frequently kidnapped away from pursuit of their own aspirations, but that's never a child's fault. My son needs me. All he's guilty of is need of being human. Every creep we encounter is the damaged product of another's malice or negligence. I harbor hostilities, but keep the knife trained squarely at my own heart. Someone could look me in the eye as I stab myself and never realize it was happening. Invisible harikiri dagger plunging repeatedly into the belly. Invisible thrusting arms, transparent guts pouring out silent screams. Behold this misguided cardiac muscle, preserved in a honeyed formaldehyde glaze, shielded by unbreakable glass. Passion springs from the compost of error and failure. Foul humors leak from psychic wounds with the rhythmic pulsation of the heart. Fluorescent splashes of lime green. Like the healthy green juices, I revile for their capacity to fortify me. Thanks for the empathy, but I draw my fortification from fornication. If necessary, I will grift you by any means possible, from the metaphysical to the physical, to the intellectual, to the ethical, to the superficial. Every act of kindness has served as a deceitful device to somehow elevate myself at the expense of another. Oh yes, I'm a smoothie. I'll accompany you to your spiritual nexus, the place where you confront your essence. Or perhaps it just seems that way from here. I don't know. I'm not you. I know I have a knack for breathing life into others' idealized selves. Gaze into this reflective glass and observe yourself at your best. It's the gift that keeps on giving, even after you're done with me. The gleaming firewall I've constructed dams a cesspool of cowardice and rage. Capable of cruelty, deception, judgment, and ridicule, I calculate ruthlessly. My vengeance rarely acquires external targets, but rather festers within like a tumor. It devours me imperceptibly as I plod through the motions of survival. Your achievements are suspect, because your efforts have been labors of hubris. You make work to glorify yourself, to force sanctimonious turds down the throats of the bourgeoisie. Your relentless substance coerces engagement, even from the disinterested. Nothing entertaining about that, but if the suits don't dig you, they must be hapless. You're beneath me, bean counter. Your office may be on a high floor, but innovation doesn't trickle upward. You lack brains, vision, moxie. You possess no compass with which to gauge originality, no faith in the fertile force of creativity. Because of hacks like you, the world gets dumber. Thanks to you, we ingest shit. Savor the lumps like ambrosia. Spread your barren hypnosis, soul killer. I wander into the street, lost, furious. You've built a tiny world. No one's in it but you. Look, I understand this isn't fun. I expose myself to you like some woeful, decrepit flasher in Central Park. This isn't some clever, oh, isn't he witty, turning the tables on me, and I love it, goddamn, this is entertainment, poignant little diatribe. This is fuck you got it, hurts so bad, want to self-impale with broken Colt 45 bottle on squalid curb, who cares, I'm going to die and you can kill yourself too. That's what I have for you. Feeling me yet? Come here, give us a kiss.